Hello everyone, what is going on? Raven here, welcome back to the channel. I have another crime video for you all today. We're going to talk about Hadden Clark. Hadden Irving Clark was born July 31st, 1952. He is the second of 4 children, was born and raised in Troy, New York. His brother, Bradfield Clark, strangled a woman in California before eating several body parts. Now, we're not talking about Bradfield. Hadden Clark is an American murderer and suspected serial killer, currently serving 2 30-year sentences for the murders of 6-year-old Michelle Lee Dorr in 1986 and 23-year-old Laura Hoteling. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Hoteling in 1992. He was also given a 10-year sentence for robbery after stealing from a former landlord. Clark's parents are both alcoholics and often fought with each other in front of their children. Clark's mother dressed him in girls' clothes when drunk and called him Kristen. His father eventually committed the unaliving event, and as a teenager, Clark tortured and murdered animals owned by children who bullied him. Clark trained as a chef and served in the U.S. Navy until he was discharged after being diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. Over the years, he held a number of menial jobs, but was mostly homeless. He was arrested multiple times for theft and retaliation. He was arrested for robbery after he vandalized a former landlord's property and committed several thefts. On May 31st, 1986, Clark was ordered by his brother to move out of the latter's home in Silver Spring, Maryland. Michelle Dorr, a 6-year-old friend of his niece, came over looking for her. Clark took Michelle to an upstairs room, slashed her throat with a chef knife. He then attempted to assault her corpse, drank some of her blood, ate a piece of her flesh, and stuffed her in a duffel bag. He buried her in a park 12 miles away. Now, the brother said he did not know that the friend was going to go over there. The brother said he left the house to give Hadden a chance to pack up all of his things and leave. On October 18, 1992, he killed 23-year-old Laura in Bethesda, Maryland. Clark was working as a gardener for Laura's mother, Penny, when she accused Clark of stealing tools from her backyard shed. He entered the house through the back door and stabbed Laura to death in her bedroom with a kitchen knife and suffocated her with a pillow. He carried her body in a bedsheet through a wooded area and buried her half a mile away. He left behind a pillowcase with his fingerprint as he moved the body. He later returned and dressed up in a wig and women's clothes and left through the front door to make people think Laura left the house alive to buy time to clean the scene. Police soon discovered the bloody pillow and linked the print on it to Clark. He confessed and led police to Laura's body 8 months after he murdered her. Police began looking at him for Dorr's murder after discovering he lived 2 houses down from Dorr's father at the time she disappeared. Police later tested his brother's old house for blood and found her blood in the wooden floorboards in one of the upstairs bedrooms. Clark later led police to her body in January of 2000. Can you imagine not knowing where your daughter is, if she's alive or not, from 1986 to 2000? That is way too long. He has also confessed to murdering dozens of people, starting as a teenager. In 2004, he sent a letter claiming he had killed a then unidentified woman on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, in 1974, known as Lady of the Dunes. He explained that he had buried evidence from the crime in his grandfather's garden and that he knew the woman's identity, but was not going to tell authorities because he claims they mistreated him. As he is a paranoid schizophrenic, police doubt the accuracy of the confession. The descendant was identified in 2002 as Ruth Murray Terry, who was married at the time of her death to Guy Rockwell Moldavin, who was identified as her killer on August 28, 2023. Clark led police on December 15, 2000 to his grandparents' former property, where they discovered a plastic bucket with more than 200 pieces of jewelry. Among the items were Laura's high school class ring. He claimed the items were trophies. This one is quite an appalling case. I feel bad for the victims and their families, especially poor Michelle. You know, she was just a 6-year-old looking for her friend that lived a couple of houses down, met her friend's uncle, and died. Not that Laura was any better. I mean, he killed her because her and her mother were accusing him of stealing. Why would he want to kill her when all he had to do was just say, I didn't steal? He could have saved himself the trouble. I hope Michelle and Laura and all of his possible other victims do rest in peace. I do hope that their families are able to move forward from the trauma. I do hope that they are able to find a new normal in life. Now, normally I would finish the video here, but we have a little bit more information for you about Hadden Clark. He was serving time in prison for the murders when he confessed his sins to his cellmate, a long-haired, bearded man he believed to be Jesus. The cellmate, Jack Truitt, listened as Clark described in detail how he slit the throat of the young girl in a pink bathing suit, drank her blood, ate a bit of her flesh before burying her in the woods. He admitted to Jack that he knew where he left the body of a 6-year-old, and then he knew where he left the body, which we know he did confirm that. And in the year 2000, he led her police to her remains. Investigation Discovery's new docuseries, Born Evil, The Serial Killer and the Savior, which I did watch, so if you have not watched it yet, go ahead and do so. His sinister crimes are as horrifying as Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, the reason I'm talking about this now is because of the fact he may be getting out. He may be eligible. So Michael Bay said he spent countless hours speaking to Clark in prison so that way he could get into the mind and psychology of the person who the FBI refers to as a person of interest in over 20 states. It is unknown if Clark killed other victims, but Michael Bay hopes that his series will bring some answers. Born Evil could potentially open the door to solving many cold case murders. Clark is currently serving 2 consecutive 30-year prison sentences in the Eastern Correctional Institution in Westover, Maryland. However, the serial killer is now eligible for parole. If you're comfortable with this guy living in your basement or renting a room from you, then put him out on parole, is what Luciano said. I cannot believe this man is up for parole. He murdered 2 innocent people. Confirmed 2 innocent people. Do you guys think he's going to get out? I guess only one way to find out. We're going to have to wait and see what the parole board decide. I'm hoping not. We shall see when they make a decision as to if he gets to be released or not. Thank you for joining in on this journey with me and help me make sure that these poor souls rest in peace. And let's hope that justice continues to be served. And I will see you all next time. Bye.